In the world of science, genetically based offenses are considered especially heinous. In rural Alabama, the dedicated detectives who investigate these complex processes are members of an elite squad known as the Forensics Investigation Unit. These are their stories.
Last night, police responded to a call about a suspected larceny at a residence in rural Alabama. The 28-year-old victim, Timothy Phillips, or TP as he prefers to be called, has claimed that a roll of toilet paper was stolen from his home in the early morning hours. Only a single hair was found at the crime scene. So far, we have narrowed it down to 4 suspects: Angela Soft and her daughter, Demi Soft, Cottonelle Johnson, and Scott Sharman. All 4 suspects were in the house when the crime occurred due to quarantine restrictions. I'm going to the lab right now to discuss the results with the forensic investigator. Perfect timing, I just identified the toilet paper thief. First, let's discuss some background information about the DNA fingerprinting, which is the use of DNA sequencing to identify an individual. Each person's DNA sequence is unique and, like a traditional fingerprint, provides distinctive characteristics that allows for identification. In order to identify people based on the differences in their DNA, a sample of DNA is collected and subjected to PCR. In this case, it was a piece of hair. The length of the DNA fragment produced by PCR depends on the number of copies of the microsatellite sequence. Microsatellites are very short DNA sequences repeated in tandem. These repeated sequences can be found on many loci throughout the human genome. The fragments are then separated by gel electrophoresis. Different size fragments appear as different size bands, with the larger fragments moving slower than the smaller ones. Now let's go over the evidence. DNA samples from all 4 suspects and the victim were collected and processed. Looking at the evidence, we can tell that Angela and Demi Soft are in fact related because at both loci they share a band in common, which represents an allele. One allele comes from the mother, while the other is from the father. Now back to the crime. In order for the individual to be guilty, they must exactly match all loci. Only one individual did this. Now, other individuals also match one of the locus, but not the other, as can be seen here with Angela Soft and Cottonelle Johnson matching locus A. In locus B, TP and Cottonelle Johnson matched the hair. Thus, Cottonelle Johnson is the toilet paper thief.